Got started looking for shipwrecks because I was an avid student of American and colonial nautical history, and I came to realize that we really know very little, relatively very little, about what was a vital part of our past. And I decided to deal with that by doing what I could to explore for, locate, and examine shipwrecks. During the winter of '85-6, I began my research effort looking for the perfect target that we could go after in an area where we could get a legitimate permit, and eventually ended up looking for El Salvador here at Beaufort Inlet, North Carolina. During the course of that first meeting with Richard, he mentioned to me that there was purported to be another shipwreck of historical importance lost at Beaufort Inlet, which was the area that I was going to be concentrating our search for El Salvador in. When I asked him what other shipwreck of historical importance had been lost at Beaufort Inlet, he said Queen Anne's Revenge. When I said, Queen Anne's Revenge, what's that? Never heard of her. And he said, Blackbeard's flagship. And my eyes lit up. Queen Anne's Revenge was a big ship, lost with 40 cannon and lots of anchors, and would be a big target for our magnetometer, which is the way we find ancient shipwrecks. We use a magnetometer on a cable towed behind the boat to record the presence of iron objects. Specifically, we were looking for the cannon and anchors that would tell us when we came across an old shipwreck. Queen Anne's Revenge, with its 40 guns and its big anchors, made an easy target to find, and we anticipated we were going to find her first, and we did. El Salvador, however, a smaller vessel, rather than being a 300-ton vessel as was Queen Anne's Revenge, she was a 110-ton vessel. El Salvador only had 8 cannon and 5 anchors aboard, and she was lost in a hurricane, broken apart and scattered, and we anticipated that she'd be a much harder target to locate with the magnetometer. When we do find El Salvador, we expect to find lots of 18th century weapons. We expect to find lots of remains of bags of cocoa, and we also expect to find the remains of cochineal, which was a bright red dye that was very popular in the 18th century. It's anticipated that if and when we find the right spot and we start to get into that dye called cochineal, the water in the immediate area could turn a bright red. That could be our signal that we found El Salvador. The documents confirm that El Salvador was carrying 4 chests of gold coin and 16 chests of silver coin when she wrecked, and that they were never recovered. We also know that in that time period, there was a considerable amount of smuggling and personal goods being carried aboard these vessels. And we would anticipate, being that El Salvador sailed out of Cartagena, Colombia in the spring of 1750, that we should find a large percentage of gold smuggled items and also probably emerald smuggled items. Colombia is the area where a large amount of gold and emeralds were being mined right in that same time period of 1750. So we anticipate that we're going to find lots of yellow metal and lots of green, bright green stones when we do find El Salvador.